There is a very specific kind of pain that almost no one talks about. The pain of apologizing for something you did not do. Not because you were wrong, not because you were careless, but because someone else twisted the moment so subtly that your mind could not hold its shape anymore. You know the feeling. You wake up replaying the argument, wondering where the fault was. You search your memory for the moment you supposedly hurt them. You feel guilt in your chest, even though logic whispers, "I did nothing." But logic is not what they target. They target your empathy. They target your desire for peace. They target your instinct to protect connection, even at the cost of yourself. Narcissists do not just avoid accountability, they transfer it. They make you hold the emotional weight of their choices, their reactions, their wounds. And before you know it, you are apologizing for the very behavior they created. In this video, you will understand exactly how that happens. You will learn how they distort reality until you feel responsible for their pain. You will see the psychological levers they pull to make you fix what they broke. And you will discover the quiet moment when that power stops working and your mind returns to you. By the end, you will not only recognize this pattern, you will feel something even stronger rising inside you: clarity, calm, and the ability to refuse the blame that was never yours. You're not here to feel smaller. You are here to remember your size. What is happening to you has a name. It is not oversensitivity. It is not overthinking. It is a psychological tactic called blame displacement. Narcissists cannot face their own flaws. To them, mistakes are not events, they are threats. Accountability feels like annihilation, so instead of taking responsibility, they redirect it. They turn their errors into your guilt. They make their reactions feel like your fault. If they lash out, it becomes "you provoked me." If they withdraw, it becomes "you disappointed me." If they lie or manipulate, it becomes "you misunderstood." They twist logic until wrong feels right and right feels cruel. And you begin to doubt your own memory, your tone, your intentions. You apologize to restore balance, not because you were wrong, but because they trained you to associate peace with self-blame. This is not weakness. This is conditioning. When someone repeatedly shifts fault onto you, your nervous system learns to step forward with guilt before they even accuse you. They do not need evidence. They only need your empathy. They know a kind heart will volunteer to carry pain even when it does not belong to them, and that is why they choose people like you. Imagine a night when everything felt calm, a quiet room, soft light, maybe dinner together, or a simple conversation on the couch. You felt connected, you felt safe. For a moment you thought, maybe we are finally okay. Then it happens. A shift so sudden it knocks the air from your chest. A sigh, a cold tone, a distant look you cannot read, silence that feels sharp instead of peaceful. You ask, what is wrong? They say nothing, but their energy accuses you louder than any words could. Your stomach drops, your breath becomes shallow, your mind races. Did I say something? Did I miss something? Why do I suddenly feel guilty when nothing happened? You try to fix it. You soften your voice. You explain yourself. You apologize just in case. They do not comfort you. They do not reassure you. They watch you scramble for emotional balance that they quietly destroyed. And when you finally say, "I am sorry," they relax. Their tone softens. Warmth returns, as if it was never gone. In that moment, your brain learns a dangerous lesson. Peace comes when you take the blame. Connection returns when you shrink. Harmony lives on the other side of self-sacrifice. You do not call it obedience. You call it love. But your nervous system knows the truth. It is survival wearing devotion's clothing. The first mechanism is emotional inversion. A narcissist does not defend themselves from wrongdoing. They reverse it. They flip the emotional field so quickly that you become the one carrying the weight of their actions. When they hurt you, you end up comforting them. When they break trust, you end up explaining why you should be trusted. When they lash out, you end up apologizing for your tone. Imagine a mirror that does not reflect you accurately. Every time you look into it, your features are shifted, blurred, distorted. Over time, you stop trusting your own reflection and start trusting the mirror instead. That is what they do to your mind. They bend reality slightly, not enough to notice immediately, but enough to make you question your perception. And once you question your perception, you lean on theirs. Your intuition whispers, something is wrong, but their confusion speaks louder, and you learn to obey the louder voice. They do not need to prove you wrong. They only need you to doubt yourself. Doubt opens the door. Your apology walks through it. The second mechanism is emotional debt creation. Think of a scale balanced perfectly. Two sides, equal weight, fair, clear, honest. Now imagine someone quietly placing stones on your side one by one every time they feel insecure, every time they react impulsively, every time they refuse responsibility. They never touch their side. They never carry their share. They simply add weight to you until balance becomes impossible. You do not even notice at first. The stones arrive disguised as disappointment, as silence, as guilt you were never meant to feel. Soon you are leaning forward, tilting, straining, trying to restore balance that they intentionally destroyed. And when the scale feels uneven, you do what empathetic people do. You apologize, you offer comfort, you attempt to relieve a burden that was never yours to hold. This is not emotional fairness, it is emotional debt. A system where you carry the guilt and they collect the relief. You begin to believe peace is earned through self-blame. You begin to think harmony requires your sacrifice, and slowly, without noticing, you start apologizing to return to zero, instead of asking who placed the weight there in the first place. Before we go further, pause, breathe. Your mind may be remembering moments right now, faces, tones, the quiet sting of guilt that did not belong to you, and you might feel a mix of emotions, sadness, anger, confusion, relief. All of them are valid. You did not imagine this. You did not overreact. You were not too sensitive. You were conditioned to hold responsibility that was never yours. A narcissist never controls strong people by force. They control strong people by using their strengths against them. Your empathy became leverage. Your patience became currency. Your loyalty became a cage. But here is the truth they do not want you to realize. The fact that you felt guilt proves something profound. It proves you have a conscience. It proves you have depth. It proves you care. They did not manipulate weakness. They manipulated goodness. There is nothing wrong with the part of you that wanted peace. The mistake was only believing that peace required surrendering yourself. And now that you see the pattern, the spell begins to crack. Awareness is the first step back into your own mind. And you just crossed it. Freedom from this pattern does not begin with confrontation. It begins with refusal, quiet, steady refusal to carry what is not yours. When they shift blame, do not explain. When they sigh or withdraw, do not chase. When they twist events, do not correct the story. Pause. Let silence exist without rushing to fill it. Let discomfort sit without sacrificing yourself to solve it. Instead of thinking, how do I fix this? Ask, whose responsibility is this feeling? When guilt rises, breathe once and answer softly inside yourself. This does not belong to me. You do not need to announce boundaries. You live them. Speak less. Observe more. Let them show who they are without your constant emotional labor holding the structure together. You will notice something powerful. When you stop absorbing blame, they scramble. They look for new angles. They intensify the game. They push harder because they feel the ground shifting. Stay steady. Do not defend. Do not prove. Do not apologize for clarity. Your calm is not surrender. It is reclaiming. It is stepping back into yourself and letting their responsibility stay exactly where it belongs with them. There comes a moment when the pattern breaks, when their disappointment does not pierce you, when their silence does not shake you, when their twisting of reality feels small instead of powerful. It begins with one thought: I do not need to apologize for what is not mine. And just like that, the spell weakens. You stand inside your own mind again. You remember your truth. You feel your worth. And the blame that once controlled you falls to the floor like a weight you never agreed to carry. Subscribe to the channel and do not stop at this video. They are still using tricks you have not noticed. The next video will show you how they do it, and once you see it, you will never see people the same way again.